Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and the weekend box office numbers are in, and it looks like Uncharted is once again at the top, which is a very good thing considering this dumb, fun action film that I quite enjoyed. Didn't think it was good quality per se, but I really enjoyed it. Is at the top because something like that in this era of overly political entertainment in Hollywood, something like this being at the top of the charts is a very good thing and could potentially signal to Hollywood the type of things that fans are interested in. Right now, we need escapism. There's too much divisive political stuff going on in the rest of the world, the broader world, that we don't want to have it repeated back to us whether or not we agree with it every time we go see the movies. Entertainment and escapism is the number one goal of films, or it should be rather, and that's what fans are looking for. That's why Uncharted, despite it being, not super well written, is doing as well as it is because people are giving their money to something that makes them forget the real world for a few minutes instead of just beating them into submission and reminding them of the problems of the real world. And so that's something very great to see and very happy to see a film like this, despite its flaws, doing as well as it is. But we got this article here from IGN that goes over the box office breakdown for the weekend. Uncharted remains the winner at the domestic weekend box office as it crosses 220 million globally. And that's actually pretty well. The budget on this film wasn't quite as high as, like Shang-Chi or Black Widow. So it doing this well is actually good for it, whereas for Shang-Chi and Black Widow, those would have been bad numbers. It still has a little bit more, I believe, to break even and start making some profit. I think just about 20, maybe $50 million left before it starts to make some money back, but it's well on the way after just a few weeks making this month. I don't see it having a problem starting to make some profit, which is actually very uncommon today with the box office numbers that we've been getting the last year or so. The Uncharted movie was not only the weekend domestic box office again with 23.2 million tickets, but it also crossed 220 million globally. Yep. As reported by Variety, Uncharted's second weekend in theaters has only been 2 weekends. That's really good for 2 weekends then. Helped bring its domestic total to 83.3 million. Internationally, it brought in another 35 million from 64 markets to make it overseas totaling 143 million. Those are some really good numbers, especially currently, and I fully see it making its money back and doing pretty well overall, which is something great to see. It's important to note that this strong performance by Uncharted has all happened without the help of China, as it doesn't prevail there until March 14th. And I'm actually okay with that. Like, I prefer these movies not to be released in China just for my own personal political opinions, but I understand why Hollywood would. And I'm okay with them doing it as long as they don't bend over backwards to fulfill the rules of the Communist Party. They're changing the story and, pandering to them. If they're just like, hey, we got this great movie, do you guys want it? And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll take it. Not put any stipulations on the plot or anything like that. It's whatever. It's a lot of money. So yeah, as soon as it releases there, don't see any problem with it crossing over into making some profit. Channing Tatum's Dog secured a second place finish with 10.1 million domestically, enough to bring its North American total to 30.8 million. And I'm not super interested in seeing the movie. It's just not my cup of tea. It does look good for what it's trying to be and looks like fun, emotional, and it's got a super, super low budget. So it's probably close to making some profit already just on that. And, it's another one that, as far as I've heard, is politically free of messaging. So something good. It's a good film to be making as much money as it is. And again, another symbol to Hollywood of what the audience is valuing at the moment. Once again, the success of this film that has a 15 million production budget. So yeah, it's wow. So at 30 million, yeah, you're right about where it needs to start making some profit back. That's actually pretty close. Undoubtedly linked to its tagline, "Don't worry, the dog doesn't die." That is a good tagline. That's pretty funny. I hate the title though. I have to say the title is just too basic. You need something else. One more word or something else, like Army Dog or something like that. Just dog, I feel, is a little underwhelming. Spider-Man No Way Home took third place, which is insane. It's been out for, 3-4 months now? That's really good for, especially in the current political or current Hollywood environment at the box office. Something to have legs for this long is quite impressive, and I'm quite happy for it because I really enjoyed Spider-Man. It took third place this weekend with 5.7 million in ticket sales. Still really good, making its domestic total 779.8 million. That is fucking fantastic, especially today. Globally, the second Tom Holland-led film to make the top 5 box office winners has passed the 1.85 billion mark. That's fucking incredible. I'm very happy about that. Death in the Nile and Jackass rounded out the top 5 by earning 4.5 million and 3.1 million respectively. In Jackass Forever, it had such a low budget and made so much money its first weekend. I think it started making profit week 1, so they're very happy where that's at. Death in the Nile, on the other hand, is so far in the red. There's no fucking way it's gonna make any money back. I'm sad about that. Like, I enjoyed the film. I didn't think it was anywhere near as good as the first one or as smartly written. There were a lot of issues with it, but I do love Kenneth Branagh and a lot of the other cast and crew members involved. So I'm sad to see it lose so much money, but it's kind of expected at this point. Newcomer Studio 666, 1.5 million, and Serrano, 1.4 million, failed to impress at the box office and placed 8th and 9th, respectively. Studio 666, yeah, I didn't see that making much money. I don't know how high the budget was, but they can't have expected much from a film like that. And Serrano, there's just been too much negative marketing around it, especially with Peter Dinklage's comments, that I didn't see it ever having a potential to make its money back or, be well received. For more, so it just goes more into detail on Uncharted and their review and stuff. Yeah, you should check out my review as well. I definitely enjoyed the film. I thought it was dumb and had a lot of issues, but it was something that we really needed right now. Just a brain dead, turn off your brain type action flick that, escapism. That was its number one goal, and it definitely succeeded in that, at least for me. But I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. How many of you have seen all these movies and what you think of them all individually? But that's all I have for today. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.